A little bit of breeze. We're gonna head down to the creek and we're gonna see if we can't get on a hog tonight. So, you ready to do this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So we're gonna have some fun. So we've been having a little competition, and so far I think I'm ahead.
You know, quite often we talk about, or I talk about, frying catfish. Well, I'll tell you what, blackened catfish is awfully good.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We are here at the Buck and Bass Ranch, and I have a very dear friend and brother-in-law, Mitch with me. And Mitch, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
We are out on a beautiful winter afternoon, absolutely a gorgeous day, and we're going to bring two guns with us tonight. We're going to bring the Air Force air gun. This is the Texan 45 carbine. We're going to try to shoot one with that tonight. And should it get dark on us, of course I've got my 300 blackout with the AGM Global Thermal Vision night scope on it. So we're set to go here tonight. We have an absolutely just a beautiful night, a little bit of breeze. We're gonna head down to the creek and we're gonna see if we can't get on a hog tonight. So, you ready to do this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So stick with us, folks, and hopefully we can bring you a little action here tonight. Absolutely beautiful night. So. Got about a 20-minute walk, 3:15. That'll get us down there by about 3:30. Feeders go off at 4. Let's do this. Won't you join us? Let's go. Breeze coming out of the east, it looks like, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful out here, though. Oh, it's a gorgeous day. We are going to have fun. Hogs or no hogs, we're going to make this just a good time to sit in the blind and we saw a buck and 3 does this morning. Buck was kind of hanging with those does. It was pretty cool to watch. So
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
And buck was probably a couple years old.
Yeah, good 2.5-year-old deer. 6-point, nice deer. All right, we'll get up over the hill here and we'll pipe down and slip in there quietly. You never know, we might see something at a feeder, so keep your eyes peeled.
Definitely.
All right. Dog tracks right here. All right, we've made it to the blind, and that feeder will go off in about 20 minutes. Lots and lots of hog sign here. I think we're gonna have some action here tonight. What a beautiful night. All right, you might get that gun up and ready. Take a couple practice aims over there by the feeder. Make sure you're set up like you need to be. Good. All we need is hogs, but we're ready for them. Well, hunting doesn't always mean harvesting. My brother-in-law and I had a beautiful sit in the blind on a beautiful winter afternoon, watching hogs slip through the brush to our immediate right. They did come out to the road, but I believe they smelled our footprints. We had walked down that road about an hour earlier coming into the blind. It's amazing how a hog can smell a footprint that was left there an hour before. Fortunately, we had a good time, but unfortunately, we did not get a hog. Thank you for joining us on this segment of A Sportsman's Life. Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions. Mitch, tell everybody what we got here. What are we playing with here today?
Well, we're playing with a neat little kit that if you're lucky enough to have a wonderful wife that was willing to purchase this for a Christmas gift, it's called the Mantis X, or the Mantis Laser Academy. And basically what it is it gives you the ability to practice and train indoors, particularly when the weather's bad. If you happen to be in a snowy place or a cold place or wet place or whatever, if you just want to have some fun with your shooting friends and such, and get together and work on your skills, your shooting skills, this Mantis Laser Academy is pretty awesome. This is basically a little travel kit that comes with the Mantis system. And what you do is you download an app on your phone, which is on this camera here. And there are a number of different training and skill system or sessions that you can pull up on this and practice speed, accuracy, gun handling, whatever you want to practice with indoors without having to worry about buying a whole lot of ammunition. That's one of the things that I think is pretty neat about this whole system. The cost of this is, in my opinion, very reasonable, and you know, you buy this and if you were going out to the range, you would shoot up
a bunch of money.
A bunch of money.
Yeah, you would.
More than you would spend on this system. It's pretty simple the way it works, actually. It's just basically a little laser system. It comes with a cartridge. This happens to be a 9mm cartridge. You can buy extras so that when you're shooting with friends and relatives, two people can shoot at the same time, as we did with this particular target set up here behind us, which was a dual hunt setup. In the app, in this case, comes up on the screen and it calls out different numbers and shapes and colors of the targets behind us, and you can have a little competition with your shooting buddies.
So of course you can buy this in what, 380 or 45 or all the different calibers. Yep. Rifle?
You can do this with rifle as well.
Okay.
The pistol, as Jeff said, 380, 45, 9mm. They actually even have another system, an elite system that you can use with an AR, that you load the magazine with a battery pack and have a special cartridge that goes in the chamber, and you can continuously fire that AR and practice with that. And there's also some options that they make which you can do live shooting, and your app will track various things like speed and accuracy and motion and you know, how you're handling the weapon. So there's a lot of different options with this. You can find a lot of it online and at your local gun stores.
Yeah, I see we've got a bunch of different targets here, Mitch. Explain, I guess there was one I saw in here, it was kind of funny, it looked like with jingle bells or something.
Yeah, they have a lot of different targets. You know, you can do, you know, just your regular silhouette type shooting, whatever interests you, and they have different training sessions that you can use that go along with all these targets that you can also download off of their app if you'd like. This happens to be the one that Jeff was referring to, the Jingle Bells target, and they have a number of these that play different like Christmas songs and so forth, and it calls out the letter or the note that you're needing to shoot, and it tracks it, and when you finish shooting you can play the song that as you hit the target. So
now Mitch is shooting with a single action and I shoot a double action. And what's the difference, Mitch? Now, if you're shooting with yours versus mine, you have to actually
have to re-rack
it
on a striker fire weapon. You have to re-rack the gun every time you shoot.
Right.
And usually there will be enough time between, you know, shots. It depends on whether you're working on speed or if you're playing a game like this dual hunt, to be able to re-rack. Jeff's is a double action, so he can continue to fire without having to re-rack every time. So that's the difference.
A heck of a lot of fun. We've been playing here and just you know, a little competition. It's a little cold and blistery out there today, so today we decided we're going to hang around in the house and we're going to have some fun. So we've been having a little competition, and so far I think I'm ahead.
I think you might be. Yeah.
Ready. 2 square dot.
It's done. There you go.
Dot 2 circle. Ready. 2 dot square. Shooter 2.
All right, we finished shooting here, and Mitch is going to kind of show us this app that you load on your phone. And
Yeah.
Mitch, tell us about this.
Sure. You know, with the Mantis Laser Academy, the app that you download onto your phone gives you the ability to track how you're shooting, and in terms of, in this case, speed and accuracy. In this particular shooting or training mode that we were in was called dual hunt. So you see 2 targets on the screen, and those targets record the 2 shooters' results from the shooting activity, and it keeps track of score, number of hits, and time or speed of shot. So in this case, shooter 1 had 3 hits out of 10, and shooter 2 had 0. So shooter 2 obviously needs a lot of work. But
I was shooter too, right?
no, I was shooter 2. I have to admit.
Oh, let's clarify.
Yeah. Now, so and there's other options for this dual hunt training session that you can do as well, but in this case there's just head-to-head competition, and you can see where the hits are and where the hits aren't.
A Sportsman's Life is also made possible by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, and Pyramid Air.
Well, folks, if you've ever had striped bass and you heard it wasn't good to eat, it is excellent table fare. What we do is we just don't bear our knife down, and there is red under the hide on the skin. And you leave that, and you end up with the lateral line. And if you just fork that lateral line out like that, it is white, flaky, tasty meat. It is wonderful. So you just don't bear your knife down, and you end up with just that little line in there. Leave 90% of that red on that hide, and then you just butterfly it out like that, and it is white, boneless, flaky meat. Get the grease hot.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
Most people associate mistletoe with Christmas, being hung around where some guy can steal a kiss from a good-looking young lady, but mistletoe is one of the best deer browsers there is. I've been a lot of different places. Where we are today, this is the lowest I've ever found mistletoe, but it is an extremely good bait too. Years ago, before deer knew what corn was or any of the other things that we use for bait these days, when we were trapping deer for movement with the state of Texas, we use mistletoe for bait. If you're around where there's mistletoe, if you can knock it out of the tree, it's a good place to hunt that afternoon because it's not going to last very long.
Well, folks, we are outside and we're going to have a quick lunch of blackened catfish. You know, quite often we talk about, or I talk about, frying catfish. Well, I'll tell you what, blackened catfish is awfully good. Now, this skillet, believe it or not, is not smoking hot. It's not white. It's actually real hot, but it's not white hot. And the way I blacken them, I use, let me hold some of this up for you here. Actually, it's Cabela's. You probably have a little trouble in this light seeing this, but it's Cabela's blackening. You can get a big shaker of this for not much money instead of the little shakers of the more conventional blackening seasoning. But catfish lends itself very well to frying. We all know that, but there's no reason not to blacken a little catfish every now and then. And that's what I thought I'd do. Had some fillets here from Channel Cat that I caught down at Lake Tawakoni, actually with Tony Pennybaker not too long ago. So let's blacken these. I'll give you a look at them as they get a little bit more crispy. Okay, let's give them a turn here. I turned one of them already. Oh yeah. We'll let these crisp up a little bit. You might see most of that olive oil. There's a little slant to that skillet. A little trick I've got here. We're going to pull them out away from some of that that olive oil. Let them brown up a little bit. And then who knows, we may fry some too. It'd be a shame to got a whole bunch more fillets and a couple of folks coming around here in just a little bit to eat with me. So we may fry up some catfish too. I wish you could smell this blackened catfish. Well, our catfish fillets are definitely getting here. There's one in there that I had that you didn't see. That was actually being covered by another little fillet. Yeah, these are just, this one here especially is just right. You have to take them out when they look just right. And this little one is just right. Oh yeah. That's going to be some good eating, folks. This little fillet is ready. We'll put it up here. Big one. Let's give this bigger, thicker one just a little more time in that hot olive oil. But you know, folks, there's a lot of ways you can cook fish, even catfish. Now, striper lends itself well to blackening, but catfish does too. I want you to try this sometime. We're not going to exclude frying some little catfish. I've got quite a few fillets left. We're going to put a little more oil in this, and then we'll drop in some on with some cornmeal and fry some too. What do you say? Now then, I'm going to give you a little trick here, a little something special here. Let's put some regular old cooking oil in here with this. This olive oil has the blackening seasoning infused in it, if you will. We'll get that oil hot with the residue there from our blackening, and I think we're going to have us some really, really seasoned fried catfish fillets. So let's let the oil get hot and we'll drop some more fillets in with the batter. Okay, my friends, before you think I've gone totally health food on you, let's do this number right here. Let's drop in some well-seasoned catfish fillets, cooked in that blackening seasoning with the olive oil with some regular old canola oil. That would have been a shame just to have strictly blackened fish, wouldn't it? Okay, let's get these cooking. And we'll pull them out of there when they're really crispy. And that with these right here with the blackened fish, I think they'll make old Luke a pretty good meal. We'll take a look at them here in just a bit. Well, folks, I've already taken out quite a few of these. This is catfish like you're probably more accustomed to seeing us cook here on A Sportsman's Life. So I'll tell you what let's do, folks. Let's plate all this up and let's take a look at some blackened fish and some fried fish cooked in that blackening seasoning. Kind of a different twist today. So here we go. Well, folks, just a little bit different way to cook catfish. You might note I have a little bit more fried catfish than I do blackened here, but I did sample the blackened catfish. Very good. And if you also look close at this fried fish, it's a little darker in color than what we usually do when we fry catfish. That's because the blackening seasoning. You know, I just left all that in the skillet after blackening these fillets, and that gave a little bit spicier taste to it too. I wish I could hand you some of this to eat. Folks, thanks so much for joining us. This segment of our show is brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blind, Smoking Tex Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro Catfish Bait and Catfishing Supplies. Make sure and tune in next week. We'll have another exciting show ready to go for you.